to explain the feedback process. So user can give a feedback to a product by clicking on this feedback, and it will open up a feedback model. So in here we have three types: positive, neutral, negative. In here, when we also have the user's email, the logged in user's email. And then in here we can, inside this input field, we can give a feedback, and we click on save feedback. This feedback will be displayed in the single product view. See, and also in here it will show the date and the time as well, and the feedback type is positive. So now I will show you the process. So inside purchase history .php we have this model. When the user click on this feedback model, this model will be pop up. So in this model we have three radio buttons, and two input fields. So these three radio buttons shows positive, neutral, negative, and each one have a unique ID, type 1, type 2, type 3, and then after that we have the user's email. I have given the email. I got this email using the session U. So inside the session U we have this email, logged in user's email, and I am signing to this mail. So in here I am displaying this mail. Here, and now after that we have this text area. This is where we are going to give this feedback. So this text area ID is feed, and also input the mail input field ID is also ID is mail. So when the user click on save feedback, we will this function will be invoked, and we will also send this or echo the product ID as a parameter. So if you go to script.js, inside save feedback I am accepting this parameter, that product ID and parameters I am accepting here. Then I created this variable called type. Then using this if statements, I am going to check document.get element by ID type 1 check. That means if this is true, because in radio buttons will get true or false values. So if this user checked type 1, then type 1 is equal to 1. Else type 2, if the user checks type 2, then type 2 is equal to, else if the user check type 3, this type variable will be equal to 3. And then using document.get element by ID, I'm going to get this text area div and assign it to this feedback variable. And I want to send this information as key pair values to the backend. So I'm going to use form data. Then I'm going to use f.append and give the key and the value here. And I want to send it as asynchronous. I'm going to use r.open, going to send it as post and save to this location. Save feedback process.php, and I'm going to send it as asynchronous. So I'm going to send using those r.send. I'm going to send this form to the backend. So if you go to save feedback process, in here I started the session, brought the connection.php file. Then I'm going to check if this session U exists. If it is exists, we go inside here, and this session U I'm going to get the email, logged in user's email, and send it to this mail. And then from that post method we are going to get these values, these three values, and I'm assigning each value to this, assigning these values to this each variable. And now what I have to do is I have all the information to save the record in the insert in the feedback table. So before that I need to create the date this feedback was created. So to do that I use new date time object and assign to D, and then I have to give the time zone. To do that I created new date time zone. Inside here I'm going to give Asia Colombo. And then D, call the set time zone method and give the time zone variable in this method. And then I want to format this date. So D arrow format. So inside this format I want this format as year, month, date, hours, minutes and seconds. And then after that I wrote insert query, insert into feedback. Going to give type, feedback, date, product ID, email. So if this is successfully saved to the database, if this feedback is successfully saved to the database, then I'm going to give echo 1. So if you go to the script.js, so using r.onReady state change will keep track of our request. And I'm assigning an anonymous function. So inside this anonymous function, if r.ready state equal 4, that means if this is r.ready state equal 4 and r.status equal to 100 means this request is successful. So then if it is successful, go inside this if statement and get the response text and assign this t. So if t is equal to 1, that means this is successful. Then hide this or close the module, else show the error, show the error. So like this, I'll show it to you again. I'll go to the purchase history. Then here I'm going to give bad product as a feedback, and the negative type is feedback type is negative, and then click save feedback, and then it will close the model. So if you go to single product view, inside here this is where the feedback style is. So if we go to the single product, so now we have two feedbacks. So this is where I am showing the feedback in the single product view. So database search, select everything from feedback where product ID is equal to PID. So I'm going using this product ID variable, I'm going to get the feedback and assign to this result set, feedback result set, and I'm going to get the number of rows from this feedback result set and assign to feedback num. Then I'm going to use the for loop. So inside this for loop, each time it iterates, I want to fetch the data from this result set and assign to this feedback data. And then from here, using the feedback data, inside this feedback data we have the user's email. So I can get the user's information as well. So select everything from users where email is equal to feedback data user email. So from this user email I can get from this user result set, I'm going to get the data using fetch assoc, and then I can show the first name and the last name of this user. So like this, the first name user data, if name, concat user data, last name. And then in here I have done another if statements, 3 statements. So if check data, feedback data type equal to 1, then show positive. If the type is equal to 2, then show neutral. If the type is equal to 3, then show negative. Because in my database, if we go to the feedback type, there are 3 types of feedback. So if it is if the feedback data type is 1, then it is positive, 2 it is neutral, 3 it is negative. So after that we come here and show the actual feedback. So echo the feedback here, and also at the end echo the date that feedback was created. So this is the view in feedbacks. I have 2 feedback. This is the feedback type positive, great product, the customer's name is Theshan Weerakkody, great product, and this is the date this feedback was created. So this is all for this video. Thank you for watching.